All right, y'all. So this is Profound Ways of Thinking. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that follow button. But today I got something hot for y'all. I normally don't do this. I normally don't talk about like social media, couples, relationships. But because it's hot, and I fuck with my boy DDG, I fuck with my girl Haley, and I fuck with my girl Chloe. I gotta give y'all perspective. I was like, now, here's the thing. Number one, what I'm gonna get on is Chloe, girl, you know you're wrong. I was like, let me tell you why you're wrong. It's because number one, you're not wrong for wanting to stick up for your sister. You're not wrong about that. What you're wrong about is how you went about it, right? How you went about it could have been so much better. You could have just been like, you know what? This isn't my fight. Let me defend Halo. You know what I mean? Even though that's your sister, but at the same time, you was talking heavy on DDG, how much you like him and stuff like that for your sister and stuff like that. You got to keep that same energy because that was on your live. I was like, I'm gonna clock it. You feel me? I'm gonna clock it. Here's why. This is how you should have kept the peace. And this is just perspective, maybe in the future, if something ever else was to happen, you feel me? God forbid though, you can go about it this way. What you should have did was after DDG, I don't think DDG was live. So if DDG wasn't live at the time that you posted, you should have gave DDG a call. You should have said, hey, look, this is Chloe, so I need to speak to you because my sister's upset. I defend my sister and stuff like that. Like, low-key, I do want to cuss you out, but I would rather not come at you like that because you still the father of my nephew. You know what I mean? And if you would have showed him that respect and say, like, I know my sister's going through postpartum and whatever the case might be, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to make an excuse for her at all, but it's too much back and forth. And then on top of that, like, you haven't responded, you haven't said nothing. I think at that moment where you wanted to respond, or like when DDG first said, like, Haley's not allowing him to see his son, I think at that moment you should have just called him. You should have said, hey, get off the internet real quick, let me talk to you. You know what I mean? Or when he got off the internet or whatever, live or whatever, you should have called him. Hey, look, I hear what you're saying. I hear you. And you should have said, my sister's going through a lot right now. She is sick. Halo is sick. And I know it is unfair that you're not able to see him or see her or however that may look, to see Halo at the time. Because we're talking about Halo. I know it's unfair right now. However, because like I said on my live, I fuck with you. Before I give you this smoke, respectfully, let me talk to you. Like, this should have been your mindset. Let me talk to the brother. I was like, because he's honestly really cool ass individual when I met him. So it's not like, he's, it's not like he's not speaking any type of facts. You know what I mean? That's what you should have said. And you should just call him up, have a private conversation, kind of orchestrate, a meeting or something like that between Holly and him. And then what would have been great for good content is you and Dub just in the background, just like, look at these fools. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that would have been good for great content. See, I'm good, girl, I'm good. I was like, as far as like, you know what I mean? And you and Dub kind of come with, if you don't want to speak to DDG, you could have found a way to get Dub's number. Because I'm pretty sure Hallie could have Dub's number. And you could have contacted Dub and said, hey, how can we make this situation better? Because, I got a little bit of what DDG is going through, and I got what Holly's going through and stuff like that. How can we mend this? Because it's being taken too far. And I think, you know what I mean? Instead of you going to the internet and being like, yeah, she, you know, you heard what she said. Like, you're being an instigator. That's what you're being. You're being an instigator, and you're also being, and then there's also some type of malicious play. I can't pinpoint the malicious play, but there's some type of malicious play being played here, right? And so I'm not saying that to make you feel bad or anything like that. I'm just giving it to you for perspective. I was like, because if you would have got with Dub, right, y'all could have both, you could have made it look like, look, I'm just here to make sure both sides, me and Dub is here to make sure both sides, because we're the older siblings. See? Anywho, I actually don't even do this. I've been looking at too much Rakai and Kai. Clock it. But anywho, like, you know, all jokes aside, but, you know, a little something for y'all to laugh at, just a little bit, you know? If it's funny, it's funny. If it's not, it's not. But anywho, you could have got together with Dub, right? And you could have been like, why they acting like this? Like, what's really going on? Do you know something? I was like, and y'all could have shared ideas like, well, how can we make this better for both parties? You know, because if Holly's sick, then, you know, do you think she will feel comfortable? You should have grabbed Dub and allowed Dub to be the mediator between, you know what I mean? I was like, that's just one perspective. You know, you could have done that. I was like, and y'all could have just done it behind the scenes, whereas when they do come together, no shit is blown up out of proportion. You know what I mean? Whereas if Didi was to ever make another video, he was like, you know, for a second, I thought Holly wasn't trying to let me see Halo. Like, you know what I mean? It was getting scary. You know what I mean? And it would just be more something of laughing or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it won't be something serious. Or how Didi is set up, he probably wouldn't even bring it up. You feel me? Clock it. Two. I think when you said that, like, you know, Hallie has him on a leash, like, are you referring to by him having a child with her? And that's like, you know, because that will be like the only way he will be able to communicate with Holly. You know what I mean? Is through the child. And if she's holding that child against him, that's wrong. You don't say that. You know, in all seriousness, I don't think that's right. You know, if that's why she's doing it, you know, in order to get his attention and stuff like that. I don't feel like that should be a reason why she's doing it. Clock it. We still clocking. Clock it. And Holly, like, if that is a reason why you're trying to keep DDG around, I don't think it should be. I think, you know, I think God would have allowed y'all to separate, or needed you guys to separate in order for both of you guys to go through your ascensions, right? And I think that's the reason why the Most High really had y'all, like, separate for a minute. You know what I mean? I think that was the real reason. Now if DDG was just, you know, making it a point to, like, truly, you know, not see his child or anything like that, then yeah, you know, I get it. But due to the fact that, like, it seems like he truly wants to see his child and he truly wants to be in his son's life, I just think that's, like, the wrong way of, like, trying to keep, like, somebody in your life, especially if you already made up in your mind. Because as women, like, once we're fed up, we mentally are away from that relationship. We're mentally not in the space for it, right? Like, we mentally check out, right? And so because of that, personally, I feel like, I'm not saying that's what you did, Hallie, but I'm saying, like, you know, just to look at all perspectives and things of that nature. That's it. I feel like you should have, you should have just been like, you know what, I'm with my son, we both ascending. That's the reason why we're really, really sick. But let me create a schedule that will work out for me, maybe when I'm like, in order for me to get a little bit more rest. So, you know what I mean? So things will work out. Or you should have been like, you know what, let me create this schedule because we're not seeing eye to eye. And I think it's best that we create a schedule to come see Halo, because you don't want DDG to just, pop up anytime and things of that nature. From what's been shown on the internet or whatever, you don't, that's not something that you're into. And so, yeah. And I think if you would have done that instead of, because he's worried, he cares about his son. He clearly cares about you still, as far as like, making sure that you're okay too. Because I think the reason why he was, on his way over there is not only to see his son, but to make sure you're okay too. Because you're still the mother of his child. You know what I mean? And the main focus should just really be on Halo. And girl, I'll give you, you are the mother. I think he was coming there to, check up on you, but because y'all, have y'all issues going. And let me rephrase, not issues, but because you guys have y'all situation going on, whereas you guys aren't just seeing eye to eye, I think it would have been best for you to allow him to see him and say, hey, it's okay that you see him, just don't take him. I'm just trying to make sure he heals in the right way. And you should have just invited and said, hey, look, it's okay. If you want to, you can stay in the guest room or whatever the fuck you stay. I don't know. But if you want to, you can stay in the guest room and shit like that. Whereas, if I'm asleep or something like that, you can take over for me with Halo if you're okay with it. I know your family wants to see him, but I just prefer him to be at the house. And I think if you would have said that to him, like FaceTimed him or called him and said that, I think he would have better like understood, and he would have probably got off live, for a little bit. And I don't think he would have really put his son on live if his son is sick. He would have probably put him on for like a quick second, like, yeah, guys, I'm with my son, he's sick. So, that's what's going on, and I think, and that's really what I think should have happened. But postpartum, I never experienced it, don't know how it feels, so I can't really say yay or nay to like how you handle things. Could they have been handled better? Of course. I was like, but this is just like a learning experience of what not to do. Next time, like moving forward, like if you guys, have like a, just a minor issue, something like that. Next time, say for instance, Halo is sick, allow him to be with DDG for the second time. I think DDG is feeling like he's missing out so much on his son's life. And so, and it's not to like, it's not for like a clip farming type of way. I think it's really him being genuine and being like, yeah, like, I feel like I'm missing out a lot on my son. And like, it's like a lot of my son's biggest moments. I was like, and I think that's what it is. Right. And so I was like, and so, yeah, that's what I would say. As far as Holly, you staying silent for most of it, that's pretty good. I don't got nothing bad to say about that. However, like I said before, that comment of like, or maybe I didn't say it before because this is a new video, but retake. So by Chloe stating that you have DDG on a leash, number one, I feel like Chloe, you don't say that. That's very rude and obnoxious. And then it also shows that, like, Hallie is trying to manipulate DDG. Now, I don't know if that is truly Hallie's intention, but that's what it looks like from the outside looking in, right? I know y'all don't need my 2 cents, but my 2 cents is just here for perspective. As far as, and my thing of it is Hallie, you should have checked Chloe for saying that. Just like I said, Chloe should have checked you and said, you need to respond to this man. You need to, make sure you're communicating with this man about seeing his child and things of that nature. Or, because the 411, because you're at your, you're at your sister's place, you're around your sister, or whatever the case might be. I don't know how y'all be living, but because of that, you should have, you should have definitely been like, I need to definitely do that. You feel me? I need to definitely make sure I'm communicating effectively. No matter if I'm sick or anything like that, I need to make sure that I'm communicating effectively with DDG. He's the father. You know what I mean? He has all rights to my son just as much as I have all rights to him. Now, the problem comes in when the whole Kai episode, where Kai, he got his first take on Halo and stuff like that. Even though DDG was posting them every now and then, but like, I think I don't think DDG was doing it for clout. I think DDG is just maybe a little bit for clout. Like as far as like, Halo about to make him a bag. This is gonna go towards whatever the fuck we gonna get for Halo. You know what I mean? I think maybe in that aspect, like, making sure that his son is straight and stuff like that. But I think also, if you're gonna say that, you gotta state that for yourself too. You know what I mean? Are you using Halo for clout? Because you don't really be posting none of your family members or anything. If anything, you might post Chloe, stuff like that, but you don't really. I was like, clock it. I'm just breaking it down to you. I was like, from an outsider looking in, that's it. So, with that being said, DDG has always been on his grind as far as like doing live videos, people into his personal life and things of that nature. Like, he's always given the chat, his fans and stuff like that, like just a personal intake on like his life, so I think it's a misconception, or I think you're trying to I think you just misinterpreted what the whole situation, as far as like, DDG trying to put Halo on cloud or whatever the case might be. And when I'm looking at it, how I looked at it is, maybe you already had plans on having somebody do the first take, but DDG had them, and DDG ended up getting Kai ended up getting that first take or whatever. That's what I feel like could have probably happened, but I don't know. I was like, but either way it go, it doesn't matter. It's nor here nor there. And I think after that, it's kind of like y'all been kind of like low-key beefing, you feel me, because you've been trying to how do I say it? I don't know. I don't remember. I lost the thought. And no, I'm not high, I promise. It happens like that. It's when you get old. But anywho, Yeah, so I don't think it was like that. I think DDG was being his natural self. You know what I mean? And I think you are being your natural self, because I think you've gotten used to DDG kind of filming and stuff like that. And so a part of you, and you've been doing it too, like as far as like your singing and stuff like that, goes with you and Chloe. I was like, yeah, so you've been doing that too, but like not an interpersonal type of vibe that DDG's always shown. You know what I mean? So I don't think any of you guys is doing it for money. I think it's more so maybe the schedules got mixed up, or you guys just say, you know what I mean? Or maybe there's some type of lack of communication, as far as what was going on. Now, I will say, yeah, maybe DDG should have, like, you know, just hit you up, hit you with a solid text, like, hey, we're about to go on Kai's stream. I don't know if he did, I don't know if he didn't, but hey, we're about to go on Kai's stream. It's live right now. He through his marathon, or what is it, Mafia-thon? I was like, and so we're about to be on live in like 5 minutes. So, you know, and I would have sent that text when I was already there. No, I'm already there. I was like, I'm already there. And so, and I think you got mad at DDG and Kai because of what was going on. But honestly, I don't think DDG knew what was supposed to be going on. And I think out of him not knowing what was going on, he handled those situations very, very well. I'm not going to lie to you, Haley. He really did handle those situations very, very well. Even when somebody was saying some stuff, some wild shit, I think that DDG really handled things really well. You know what I mean? And even with and even given that Kai didn't know what his production team was really like on, like he didn't know what his production, you know, because like, you know, they're making it fun for the viewers and stuff like that. So like they're trying to prank him and stuff like that. And so I don't think Kai truly knew what was going on too. So I think it was a surprise to Kai. I think the production team wasn't expecting Halo to be there. I think that's the only thing. They wasn't expecting Halo to be there. So no harm, no foul. You know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, when things got a little rocky, I think DDG really handled the situation very, very well. And so I would say you can commend him on that if you want to. Yeah, you can commend him on that. So as far as like the whole clout chasing with Halo, I don't think that's a thing for DDG. I think he's just doing his natural own thing. Because you got to put it in perspective. Like, the only reason why he kept the pregnancy quiet was truly because, you know, it was truly because you wanted it to be quiet. But you gotta think, he got a chat. he got things he has to make sure he's doing on a day-to-day basis. So, you know, I get it, you know, but you can't have that much control over somebody's life. Especially if they've been doing it majority of their life. Majority, like, this is how they make their money. This is, you know, this is their finances, you know? So, you know, you can't try to F up his bag, you know, when he, you know, this is something that he's been doing. You know, no shade, no disrespect, no none of that. Anywho, it looked like I got cut right here, or like smacked or something. But like far away it don't. But like when I look right here, it do. Anywho, so yeah, that's it. As far as that goes, DDG, I feel like you need to get with Holly, I feel like you need to get with DDG, and I feel like both of you guys need to have a conversation. Also, Holly, I do think that there's some controlling things. Okay. So yeah, I'm sorry, I had to go grab my drink or whatever. So yeah, I do feel like I do feel like there were some controlling factors in the whole situation that both of you guys, or excuse me, no. I feel like there's some controlling factors with you, Holly, that you gotta focus on, and you gotta, you know, you kind of just gotta, you gotta heal whatever that is. You gotta dig from like whatever time zone, time frame that that you were scarred, and you felt like certain things wasn't in your control. I feel like you gotta, you gotta heal that. Yeah, for the most part, that's what I feel. Clock it. DDG, feel like you gotta communicate better, brother. Point blank period. And I know it sounds wild, but like even when you do have a kid, if you notice, like even in the modern day family, like there's so much communication going on about the kids and scheduling and stuff like that, like, you know, and who has what and stuff like that, and what they have to do and stuff like that, as far as the kids' schedule, but also as far as your work schedule. I think you guys need to come to an agreement, or not even an agreement, come to, you know, a means to focus on controlling, or not controlling, but setting like different schedules that you guys do have. Halo, I think right now is like the easiest, so please, on both ends, please create space for Halo, as much space as you possibly can. And the only reason why I say that is because when you do that, you know, you're able to spend as much as time as he develops and stuff like that, and become a little young man, you know. So that's what I think. I just think it's a lot of miscommunication on both parties. And I think to diffuse some of that stuff could have been handled off the phone, offline, and somebody could have called. You know, I seen DDG, I seen that you were, you know, trying to, you know, trying to communicate in the best way you know how, and things of that nature. I seen that, you know, and I seen it, you know, and I know that Hallie been, you know, you was under the weather a little bit or whatever, and Halo ended up being under the weather, and, you know, both of you guys were going through y'all ascension, pocket, and so, yeah, like, you know, that's what it is. So, you know, that's just my perspective. I think you guys just need to give one another a little bit more grace, you know, especially with time and time, space, and energy. Give each other just a little bit more grace, you know. Like I said before, Chloe, I do think you're in the wrong, not for taking up for your sister, but in how you went about it. You know, I think you should have just called DDG instead of making an online thing. Yeah, he's posting what it is that he's posting online or whatever, but it wasn't in your... I was like, but I think you lit the fume when you posted what you posted. And you thought you were going to get one reaction when you got another reaction, right? And so, yeah, that's how I feel. That's my perspective. If you like my perspective, go ahead, like, share, comment, and hit that follow and or subscribe button. So yeah, I hope you guys have a glorious day. But you know, this is for my Profound page. I normally don't do videos like this, but since it's hard, clock it, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So with that being said, we are all meant to be profound. However, we just got to see within ourselves first. My government name is Francis. However, y'all can call me Profound Ways of Thinking.